Yo, what's going on, everybody? So, I'm making this presentation because, based on the conversations I've had in the past couple of weeks, past couple of days, a lot of people tend to be stuck at a plateau. A lot of people. And if you're watching this, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching it as a replay, chances are you're probably stuck at a plateau too. So, we're going to go through a lot today, basically, how to overcome this plateau. I'm going to give you some examples of people that have been stuck in plateaus that I've helped out just by shifting small little things. I'm going to tell you the small things that you need to change in your life to, to break through the plateau, and then give you some answer some frequently asked questions. So, have you ever? Well, before I even start, of course, my name is Frank Giogo. I'm the one that runs this group, U 2.0. I'm here to help you guys become the best version of yourself. I'm here to help you become the 2.0 version of yourself. So, um, there are going to be a few typos in this, so just bear with me. I will be doing these workshops, these master classes, mini lessons. I'll be doing them twice a month, sometimes once a month, depending on what the topic is. Some of these will be two sessions. So sometimes the topic is so big that I want to take two separate sessions to run through this with y'all. So um different topics are going to include workouts, nutrition, fat loss, toning, building muscle, everything that I believe is going to help you guys to become the best version of yourselves. I don't know why there's some words missing, and this must be um, a formatting issue because I did type everything perfectly. So what you're going to learn today is why plateaus happen, as well as how to overcome, how to adapt your workouts, when and how to have refeed periods, when to identify when it's time for a change, essentially. So without further ado, I want to just jump in. I want this to be 10 minutes maximum. If you're watching this live, I want you to comment the word live. I don't think anybody hopped on because I did start this a little bit late. But if you're watching it as a replay, do me a favor. You can pause the video right now, or you can just go ahead and scroll down and comment the word replay. That's just going to let me know that you guys do find these interesting and that you want me to make more of them. So, without further ado, let's dive in. Have you ever felt stuck at a plateau? Have you ever been in a place where you feel like you're working out a lot? You're working out daily, you're training, you're doing cardio, you're doing everything that you know you need to do, but you're still not seeing results. You're still not seeing progress, no matter what you do. I know plenty of people have felt like that, right? An example of this is my man Sam. Some of you guys might know Sam, some of you guys might not know Sam. Sam worked with me for 3 months, but prior to working with me for 3 months, he had been working out consistently for, I believe, over 6 months. He was running multiple times a week. He was eating healthy, quote unquote healthy. He was being consistent. For all intents and purposes, he was doing everything that he needed to do, right? And for a while, it did work. For a while, Sam was able to lose weight consistently. He was able to drop 40 pounds on his own. He dropped down from about 300 pounds to 260. However, he hit a position where he just couldn't lose any more weight, no matter what he did, no matter how many times he ran per week, no matter how healthy he ate. Regardless what he was doing, he just couldn't lose weight. So it was crazy to him, and I have his interview, his testimonial. It was crazy to him that after just 3 months of working with me, he was able to lose 32 pounds, more than he had previously in the last 6 months. So he was stuck at a plateau for 6 months, couldn't do it, couldn't lose any weight, scale wouldn't budge. He just didn't know what to do. It was very frustrating. Have you ever been in that position? Have you ever been doing everything that you think you should be doing? You've been working out hard, doing a lot of cardio, eating healthy, but regardless what you're doing, you just weren't losing weight. If you have, do me a favor, comment the word stuck. The more engagement you have, the more engaged you are with this presentation, the more I'll be led to continue doing more of them, right? So like I said, Sam was in that specific position, and he was so frustrated. Sam is somebody that even before he knew I was a coach, I knew even before I became a coach, I knew Sam. So he wanted to figure it out on his own. Most people do, especially most men. We want to figure things out on our own. We don't want to ask for help, especially when we think we can do it on our own. So that's where he was. He was frustrated until finally he said, "You know what? Obviously, what I'm doing isn't working. It's time for me to seek some expert advice." And he came to me. We had a session, and 3 months later, that's where he's at. So the reason why a lot of people get stuck at plateaus is because a lot of people have bought into this lie that the fitness industry perpetuates. Um, a lot of coaches, a lot of social media, the fitness have this idea that all you need to do to lose weight is eat more, eat less, and move more, which to a degree is true. It's going to work to a degree until it doesn't work anymore. A lot of people believe all they need to do is eat less, work out more, and they'll lose weight. And like I said, it will work, but in my opinion, this is almost kind of dangerous. And I've seen the dangers of this because in saying that, some people restrict themselves so much that they actually barely eat, which slows their metabolism down, makes it harder to lose weight long run, right? Some people, people love to take things to the extreme. So they'll hear eat less, they'll do one meal a day, or they'll barely eat any day, any time, and hope that they'll lose weight. And once again, it will work until it doesn't anymore. What do you do if you've been restricting your calories? What do you do if you've been eating one meal a day for 6 months and you've lost weight and now you're no longer losing weight? What do you do then? Do you just stop eating? Right? And I know because I've worked with so many people who have been in that position where they're barely eating, but the scale isn't moving, right? What do you do if you're already working out 5 days a week? And for a while, it will work. It will help you lose weight. You will be burning calories. You're running 2, 3 miles a week, and it works. It's cool. It's amazing. You're losing 20, 30, 40 pounds. And then one day, you notice the scale just won't budge. What do you do then? Right? That's when it gets dangerous. Most people believe that to lose weight, all you need to do is just eat less, move more. And it will work to a degree. Think about it this way. I like using this analogy. It's called the high school to PhD program analogy, right? Every level requires a new version of you. What got you here won't get you there, right? When you're graduating high school, the way you have to study, the way you have to show up for your classes is completely different than how you have to study and show up for your classes when you're graduating a PhD program, right? The stakes are higher, the amount of studying is higher, the exams are harder, there might even be less exams, so there's less room for error. You have to essentially upgrade and become better at what you're doing. The same skills that you had to graduate high school or even elementary school are completely different than the skills you'll need to graduate a PhD program. That's the same exact thing for fitness, right? Think about it this way again. Once again, eating less and moving more works to a degree, right? But think about bodybuilders, people that have to be 6, 7, 8% body fat and they step on stage. The way they train, the discipline, the way they eat is completely different than somebody else who was just trying to lose 20, 30 pounds. So with every level requires a different version of you. If you're dropping from 40 pounds to, if you're dropping from 40% body fat to 30% body fat, you really can just move more and eat less. That's gonna help you lose weight. But if you're at 15% body fat trying to get to 10, the way you go about doing that is going to be completely different. You're going to have to be a little bit more strategic and specific with what you do, right? So that's the big lie, the big misconception that most people buy into. They believe that it is that simple until it isn't. And we're going to get into what to do when it no longer works. Don't worry. Once again, the truth is more complicated than that. Calories in versus calories out does work up until a certain point. Moving more does work up until a certain point. But what's the limit? When does it not work anymore? Right? The truth is, our bodies are so great at adapting and they constantly seek balance. That's why when you cut your calories, right? Let's say your maintenance, excuse me, let's say your maintenance calories is 2,500 calories, right? When you cut your calories from 2,500 to 1,500, by default, you're feeding your body less. It's getting less calories daily, right? You'll be you because you're putting less calories in, you will lose weight. You will lose weight. That's not if ands or but. You will lose weight. You're giving your body less calories, but you're also burning more calories every day, right? So by default, you will lose weight. Eventually, that won't. Eventually, that will no longer work. Hey, what's going on, Brian? I am almost done with the presentation, so if you hang around, I'll answer questions at the end if you want.
Thanks.
Okay, cool. So, eventually, to a certain degree, that will work. You will lose weight until it no longer works, right? Our bodies are very good at adapting. That's why when you cut from 2,500 calories to 1,500 calories, you will lose weight. But what happens when that no longer works? Your body will adapt to that new normal, and it's no longer going to work. What happens when you go from never working out to working out 5 days a week? That's you will lose weight naturally until eventually your body adapts to that new level of normal, and it no longer works the way you think it's going to work, right? So what do you do when that happens? Before I dive into that, I want to give another example of um, another client I've worked with who was stuck at a plateau. This is Sebastian from the Netherlands. So Sebastian, before working with me, was stuck at a plateau for almost 7 years. I kid you not. He was stuck for 7. He hadn't weighed 18 pounds less since 2014. He told me he was working out 5 times a week. He was eating healthy the best he could. He was being consistent. The scale just wouldn't budge. And as a result, he had issues sleeping. He had a lot of brain fog. He was tired every day. Overall, he became extremely frustrated. Have you ever been in that position, Brian? Have you ever been frustrated with the lack of progress on the scale?
Yes.
Yeah. So it gets to a point where he gave up. He would give up and restart over and over and over again. He just didn't know, what else to do. So the solution to that, there's three different solutions. I'm going to get into adjusting your macros and calories, adjusting your workouts, but the first thing is tracking and analyzing. This is the number one thing that most people don't do. Once again, the fitness industry perpetuates this idea that it's so easy to lose weight. Just eat less and move more, which to a degree, it's true. It will work. If you're coming from 300 pounds, if you eat less and move more, you will lose weight. But once again, what got you here won't get you there. Eventually, you will have to adapt, and eventually, you will have to change up what you're doing and be more strategic. So if you're not tracking, my mentor always says this: if you're not tracking, you're slacking. Another thing is what gets tracked gets improved. Think about it this way: if you're trying to save money to buy a house, but let's say you have that one bank account, you're checking your savings in one place, and you are spending the same money that you're putting into that same account, but you're not tracking how much is going in or how much is going out. There is essentially no way of knowing how much money is being saved in that account. There's no way of knowing when you'll reach your goal. That's the same with health and fitness. If you're not tracking your workouts, you can't see if you're progressing or regressing. If you're not tracking your calories or your macros, you can't see if what you're doing works. And with the two people that I mentioned before, both Sebastian and Sam, that's one thing they weren't doing. So number one, the first thing to do when you get stuck at a plateau, you have to start tracking. You have to analyze what's going on. So that's step one. If you're already doing that, cool. Next thing would be to adjust your calories and macros. The biggest mistake a lot of people make when they are, and I know you came in a little bit late, Brian. I'm recording this so that I can post this in the group and people that weren't able to hop on can watch it later on. The next thing to do when you're stuck at a plateau and the scale just refuses to move is adjust your calories and macros, right? The biggest mistake a lot of people make when they're trying to lose weight is they do a drastic calorie drop or they don't even track macros. So a drastic calorie cut would be going from, let's say your maintenance is 2,500 calories and you're like, oh, well, I was told that if I want to lose weight, I need to cut my calories. So somebody would go from 2,500 calories to about 1,200 calories, or worse yet, even 1,000 calories. Trust me, I know people who have done this. And once again, it will work to a degree. Initially, you will lose weight drastically. You'll lose 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds, but eventually your body will adapt to that new normal. It will see that you're only giving it 1,000 calories a day. So it's going to stop burning as much in order to preserve the energy that you're giving it, right? So the first few months you'll lose weight, but then your body just will not burn the calories you're giving it just because you're already giving it so little calories, right? So what do you do in that position? Most people would say, "Oh, just cut your calories even more." But that doesn't make sense. If you're already eating 1,000 calories, if you cut your calories again, 500 calories that's a meal. That's one meal a day. What do you do if you're already eating one meal a day? You lose weight until eventually you don't, right? And now the scale is stuck and you're trying to lose weight, but you're already eating one meal a day, but nothing is happening. You can't cut calories again, right? So sometimes the solution is to cut your calories. sometimes the solution is actually to stop dieting, to bring yourself back to maintenance. So if that's something that happened to you, and I know plenty of people who have done this, who've made this mistake, if that's something that happened to you, the solution would then be to bring yourself back up to maintenance slowly, not drastically, slowly, while still maintaining your workouts, while still being active, so that you don't regain the weight. Bring yourself back to maintenance, reset your metabolism, and then from there, you can drastically drop your calories again and lose weight. So that's the second thing you can do. The third thing, the final thing, is adjusting your workouts. And that goes again back to tracking and analyzing. If you're not tracking, you don't know if you're progressive, if you have progressive overload incorporated. One of the main things with Sam that he was running a lot. He actually wasn't even working out. He wasn't building any muscle. He was just running a lot, so losing muscle. So sometimes you might want to adjust your workout by increasing the amount of sets, increasing the amount of reps, increasing the time under tension. Meaning, let's say if you're doing shoulder presses, your default is to just run through it. 1, 2, 3. A great way to adjust it, a simple, easy way to adjust it, instead of increasing the weight, is you can just slow it down. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Increasing that time under tension increases the stimuli, increases the stress you put on your muscles, which helps with progressive overload. It helps you build muscle. So there's so many different things you can do, right? You can increase the reps, increase the sets, increase time under tension, or you might even need to change your workout completely. You might want to change from strength training to doing HIIT workouts, or vice versa. You might want to change from doing HIIT workouts, doing low intensity, steady state cardio, or vice versa. Or worse yet, you might even need to take a break from working out. So many people overtrain and don't realize that they're overtraining. I used to do that way back in the day. I used to train 5, 6 days a week, 2 to 3 hours at a time. If you're overtraining, you're actually harming your body. You're doing more harm than good. So once again, the three things you need to do if you're stuck at a plateau, number one is track and analyze. Track your calories, track your workouts, track your sleep, your water intake, your steps, everything. What gets tracked gets improved. Number two, adjust not only your calories, but also your macros. If you're only eating 1,000, if you're only eating 100 grams of protein a day, you might not be eating enough protein. So you really have to analyze, am I eating enough protein to build muscle? Am I giving my body the nutrients it needs to continue losing weight? Am I building the muscle that I need to improve my metabolism, right? And then last but not least, adjust your workouts, by changing the sets, reps, adjusting the weight, adjusting time under tension. And it's very simple. So what I'm going to do, I have an ebook that you might find useful that will give you some workouts you can do. It'll give you some recipes you can try, anything you might need to make these adjustments. Like I said, if you found this useful, I think it's only going to be about a 10-15 minute long workshop. If you found this useful, you can scroll down, comment the word thanks, just so I know that you guys do like this and I can continue making these. And if this helped, but you're not sure about how to pivot, what to do moving forward, comment the word help. What I'm going to do, I'm going to reach out to you. We're going to schedule a free strategy session exclusively just for the people in this group. And we'll go over what you're currently doing, what you're eating, if you're tracking anything, and I'll give you some actionable steps that you can do moving forward, right? If you have any other questions, you can message me directly on school or at frankgiogo@tankfitness.net. And that being said, that's it for this presentation. So I'm just going to take the time to just answer any questions you might have, Brian. I know you came in a little bit late. Like I said, I did record this, so I will post it in the group. Do you have any specific questions for me?
Not specific questions. I think I just need to watch the replay of the video.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Awesome. I appreciate you for hopping on. I know I started this a little bit late. What I'm going to do, I am going to stop the recording right now.